What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about learning how to wing foil and the top 4 things you should know.
1, 3, 5, go!
Coming from the wild, wild West Indies.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is gear and actually picking the right board for winging, because the way you calculate the right size board for winging is very different to kiteboarding, wakeboarding, all that sort of stuff, because you're not just calculating the size, but you're also calculating how much liters and how much float is in the board. So right here you can see we got a Swell 4'10". This has 50 liters. This is an advanced wing foil board, and it's actually what I started on when I first got into winging. And this was a really fun board, but also a very frustrating board because it's what's considered to be a sinker. So it sinks under the water and you gotta use the wing to pull you out and get going, which makes it very hard to consistently get riding in lighter up and down winds. Whereas over here, we got a Seek 5'1". This is 98 liters, and this is the ideal board size for most people my weight, because there's a general rule whenever you're calculating board size for winging. You basically want a board that is 30 to 40 liters over your weight. I'm roughly 70 kgs, so 100 to 110 liters is plenty for me to work with. With this board, I can get standing, hang out, and easily get going in a very wide range of conditions. So that is the key thing to really take a second to figure out when you're gonna get your own wing board. Make sure it has enough liters so it's actually gonna float and make life easy when you get out there and try and get going. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about tip number 2, is try when it's windy. When you first get into winging, because you're on the foil, some people think like, oh, it's a light wind sport, it's gonna be easy even if it's not that windy. But from my experience, the wing only has so much power that it can generate. It's not like a kite where you can whip it, loop it, create tons of power. You only got this little pump action right here. So trying when it's a nice twin tip day, or maybe a little bit more where you could go send some jumps, that's gonna make life a lot easier when you're just starting to figure it out, because you can get up, get moving, and hopefully get on foil with very little effort, which then gives you the freedom to get more efficient as you get more sessions under your belt. So don't go when it's light wind, go when the wind's pretty good, and you'll definitely enjoy the process of trying to get going a lot more. Okay, and tip number 3 is master the foil. Wing foiling, as simple as it looks, it's 80% knowing how to use something like this, which is a hydrofoil, and 20% learning how to hang on to the wing and generate power and control that. So if you get a chance to go wake foiling, or you're already good at kite foiling, or you can surf foil, if you can do anything on a foil, it's gonna give you a big advantage, because once you get up, get going, you'll be right at home. A lot of people, if they don't have that experience, it just takes a bit longer, because 1, you're trying to get going, 2, you actually get going on the foil, and now you gotta figure that out. So if you kind of get used to how the foil feels under your feet, that's gonna speed up your progression big time. So actually here, when we do our lessons, we kind of break it into segments to get you on the wing, we get you on the board, get out there for a little bit, and usually we're gonna have a little bit of fight at that stage, so we'll actually take you wake foiling behind the boat, so you get a little bit used to what the wingboard feels like. So not everyone has that option, but if you can, that's gonna really take you to the moon and turn you into a wing foiler really quick. Okay, and tip number 4 is get ready to go downwind. Because wing foiling, just like every other wind sport, it's a downwind sport when you first start. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try and figure it out, the wind's gonna take you straight downwind. So you wanna think about this when you are trying to figure things out. This is gonna kind of make you decide on your spot. You wanna try and find a spot where the wind's kind of side shore, or take a lesson where you actually take a boat out and you get a lot of space to try and figure things out. If you're on an onshore beach, it's gonna be very hard. Not impossible, but it's gonna be a lot harder, because you gotta kind of try and paddle out as much as you can to get super deep, or learn this technique where you use the board and the wing to kind of go across the wing and do a couple tacks to get off the beach. But in general, just be prepared in the beginning to not get riding, get ripping upwind right away, and have a bit of a struggle with some downwind action. Alrighty guys, so that pretty much sums up my top 4 things I think you should know if you're learning how to wing foil. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below if you're already winging, if you want to learn how to wing, if you want to learn how to kite, if you want to learn how to paraglide, what are you into? I just want to know kind of what people are watching these videos are kind of getting into. And as always, if you ever want to come and learn how to do these sports, come and learn with us at Kelsick Kiteboarding in Antigua. We do wing lessons, kite foil lessons, kiteboarding lessons, wakeboarding, wake foiling, all sorts of fun stuff to turn you into an absolute shredder. So you can check out all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Big thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon in another video. Peace, love, and big ups.